Welcome back to my channel, guys. We're doing a very interesting video today. We have a special guest, my husband, Sebastian. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for creating this.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Very excited.
So I gave Sebastian a task and he came through as always with everything that I have you help me with on this channel, to be honest. It's great. I know that you feel like you're encroaching, but honestly, it's fantastic. You help quite a bit. I wanted to do bingo because, you know, that's my most favorite game in the entire world. There's such a huge list of autistic traits out there, and I figured what better way to introduce my very first autistic, categorized video than playing a game. So Sebastian created bingo cards for each one of us. They are completely randomized with different traits that we may or may not ourselves actually have with autism or any type of autism spectrum kind of traits. Well, I guess the rules of the game are...
I got them right here. So this is what it is. We're going to read the following statements, and if that statement applies to you, please highlight it on your bingo sheet. You're going to get as many 5 in a row bingos as you can.
All right.
But the first to 6 in a row, so that means like from one angle to the other, whole top row or whatever, wins.
Okay.
So, and then it's basically in 2 categories. We've got the main questions, and these are all things. The first several of them, I would say 3/4 of them, are just questions that people should ask themselves if they are suspicious that they are autistic, or if they are autistic, they can kind of see like, oh, that is something that I struggle with, and it's because of that.
Yeah.
Kind of helps you adjust and so forth. So those are all about that. And then the last ones, these ones are uncommon autistic / atypical traits.
So we may or may not have them, but the whole premise of this game for ourselves is if we each feel that we do maybe even slightly have that trait, we get to go ahead and color it in.
Yep.
But we got 3 free spaces.
Yep.
So we get to automatically color those in, and may the odds be ever in our favor.
I guess, like, is it a good thing if you get lots of them?
I don't know. That's my thing.
I'm like,
I'm like, is this a little self-defeating?
If I fill out this whole sheet, we know that means something. Now, It doesn't mean you have autism, but you probably should talk with someone about it.
Yes. And I think that this is great to actually talk about that like if you yourself, you've never heard of autism, or maybe this is your first taste of what is that, what does that even look like, or you yourself, because the umbrella of ND is so large that I feel like you yourself, if you don't, then you either know somebody that does.
Probably.
And they may not even know, but that doesn't dismiss the fact that it does still exist.
Yeah, it's a thing.
So it's a thing. So cool.
I think the biggest thing for me, especially in like creating this and everything, I think the thing that comes to my mind, and I just want to throw it out there now, which is like, if you're autistic, it's not like you've just caught an incurable disease.
Yes.
Like,
it's not the end of your life, but there is grief.
Yeah, you're still a human being, right? You are still going to relate to some degree to the rest of the human experience. Right? We all have to do things. We all have to survive and live in this world, right? And so it's like, but this at least lets you know like what you're dealing with, what you're working with, what your cards actually are. And I think,
and a lot of these are pretty
knowing
common
that is good
too.
I think knowing that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get started. Okay, so this is going to be the hardest part of this, is finding the stupid prompt on here, because they all start with May. So good luck.
And it's going to be so telling because it's a spectrum for a reason. So like, I know we fit differently on different scopes and scales of different things. So we'll see.
No,
I'll use blue, purple.
Let's go. Okay. All right. So the first prompt, let's get this going here. Okay.
First, I'm going to go mark my free spaces, to be honest. I'm already winning.
Oh, yeah.
Step ahead of you.
Wow, this got competitive fast. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned in so we can throw hands. Just kidding.
Okay.
All right. Okay. First prompt on here is, you may feel like you become whoever you're around most.
Do I feel like I become whoever I'm around most? This is kind of interesting too, because like I would say before I knew my diagnosis of autism, I would say that I struggled with this a lot more previously. That's the beauty, I feel, of now understanding my strengths and weaknesses that I have. I really struggled with this before, but I don't struggle with this as much now because I am aware of it. So if I start to catch myself to like, it'll kind of come up, it'll sneak up, you know, like the whole copying people's like speech patterns. That one's such a difficult one. And it's like,
well, because that one, I feel like it's like,
man.
it's not only just our tendency to be like hyper aware and sensitive to what other people want or need.
Yes.
And we like to reflect back what people are so that they'll like, because they like them. So like they'll like a reflection of them.
Yes.
So that's what we do. But like the other part of that's echolalia. Like, and I hear you talk a certain way. I can't
struggle to not copy it. It's
kind of like the hardest thing ever.
Yeah.
So for me, this is where I was at on this, and I was going to ask you. This is something that I personally used to struggle with so bad. I would literally just completely lose my identity.
Yeah.
And so what I would say I am now is that if you've got a really catchy catchphrase or something that you say or a mannerism, it might become mine.
Yeah.
And I am definitely a mannerism / specifically like phrase snatcher. I just do that, and it's part of me now. It's going to be with me forever.
Yep.
Like I may work with you for 6 months, and I'm going to keep doing that for the rest of my life. Like, so like I feel like I should mark that in because I do still struggle with that part. I can't shut that off completely. So.
Yeah. See, I was like, I might half fill in that one. So half circle. Half filling.
I like it. Next one is may constantly rehearse conversations or interactions.
Yes. 100%. It's right there. Yep, I have to. Even before I make a phone call, I rehearse it. An email, I rehearse it.
As I was going to tell you about what I did here with this, I rehearsed the conversation. So yeah, it's a constant thing.
Yep.
So I do wing things sometimes, but if I get any time to think about it ahead of time,
be prepared, I will.
Yeah, you bet your butt. I'm gonna plan it out. Okay. May feel as though you are always on stage. Always
on stage. That's the thing. I hate these general terms. It's like do I always?
Think about it this way.
Is there moments where my anxiety will make me feel that way? Oh yes.
But the thing is like think about it, like when you're on stage, you're masking, right?
Yes.
And did you or did you not?
Yes. And so like yes, I was masking constantly. So yes, when I was masking, it always another half fill in. Like before, yes, but now I think you make a really good point there because I have done a lot of self-care and a lot of life management to get rid of that stress in my life. I don't have to mask as much. And it's been weird, but also the most healing experience.
I would say that like I am struggling less now. This is one of those ones where I'm like, I used to be in that like I was always on stage thing, but I really have over the last year really like stepped off stage in a lot of areas of my life, and I feel like I'm unmasked at work. I learned how to unmask at home, in front of you first and before anyone else.
Yeah.
And I would say even when I go to grocery stores and stuff, for the most part, like unless I'm having heavy interaction happen, I don't feel like I have to really mask at all.
Yeah.
Light interaction, it's not required. So it's like, this is one of those ones where I'm like, it used to be very true for me. But it just isn't now. So I'm like, man, I don't know if I should mark it or not.
Half mark.
Okay, the next one we got here is may have few close friends and not many acquaintances. That one is still very true. What friends?
Yeah, I don't.
Like we've got our family friends, but we kind of consider them family, so they're not really in that realm. But as far as like people we hang out with and talk with on a daily basis or weekly basis or monthly basis,
0.
They don't exist.
0.
Hello, you are my best friend.
Hello. I know I'm very introverted, and socialization, like I can do socialization, but it's just to a certain degree where it becomes obnoxious.
Yeah.
I think it's a spoons thing for me.
It's totally a spoons thing. Like, this is the biggest thing I've noticed. When a friendship works well, it's great. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm very happy with it. What I would say is that for every 10 people that you befriend, one of them may be someone who will actually be your friend for a long period of time.
Mm.
And then I would say like 1 out of 3 long-term friends is actually like a forever kind of friend kind of person. It's very few people. Very, very few. And so, but you have to put a lot of effort into a relationship to see if it's even going to go there. Because if you don't ever get to a point where you're vulnerable with them, you don't actually know them enough to know if you can trust them.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to put a lot of effort into it. And I just, most of the time, I'm lazy. I don't want to. So next up is may see the world literally and in black and white. And of course, not literally in black and white, although you could have taken it that way. And you'd be autistic.
For I would catch it.
Yes,
it went above
precisely.
My head. So, yes. Even this last week, I noticed there were several moments where
and it's like
the struggle.
This is what's crazy about it is I would say most of the time I don't take things super literally. But when I'm not thinking about things and you hit me with something, I will most of the time, my first impression is a literal impression and understanding.
Take it, yeah.
So you'll say something to me and I really think you mean it literally. And then it's actually not literal.
Literally.
It's figurative or it's metaphorical nuanced or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's, it's one of those ones that, once again, doesn't affect my entire life, but there are a couple of areas where I will definitely trip over it.
May see the world literally and in black and white. Yes. And like justice rules. I know that for me.
Yes.
I do see it black and white. So that in. I'm doing pretty good so far.
No bingos yet, though.
No bingos.
They're all over the place. Okay, so like I do struggle with the literally part, but I would say that in my biblical studies, and I know this is going to be kind of ironic for some people maybe watching this, I've actually learned to not be so black and white, because the more black and white you are towards the world, the more black and white God is to you. And I can't meet his standards, so I'm going to just allow the gray that is to be what it is. That doesn't mean to be lukewarm. That doesn't mean to be in the middle or not. Like you got to be fully on one side or the other. But like, there are so many things we don't know about and so many things that we haven't been told about that are situations that happen in today's times and ages and stuff that just weren't talked about. I don't know. There's just so many facets, and to go through things with compassion and grace is, I would say, a much better way to look at the world than to be trying to morally police it, because you're morally policing yourself instead. So may struggle with other people breaking the rules. This one's an oh my God, yes. I really, really struggle with that. I can't freaking stand it when people break the rules, because I can't ever get away with it. But everyone else, man, such BS.
And I don't care. I don't struggle with other people breaking the rules. I don't care.
I don't know how. That bothers me. I don't know.
I'm not here to judge what others do. That's not my place. So I don't care what others do.
Okay, next one is maybe a picky eater with few preferred foods. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't feel like I'm a picky eater, but you've been claiming for years that I'm a picky eater. Because like, I feel like because I eat vegetables and I like, bitter foods and all kinds of stuff like that, to me, that means that I am not a picky eater. But at the same time,
you have an open palate, yes. But do you have preferences? Yes.
Do I have extreme preferences? Yes.
Extreme preferences? Yes.
Yeah.
You do as what any typical autistic person would have, is what I would say. Like, not to like be too blunt about that. But
well, ladies and gentlemen.
In the same way that I do myself, sir, I'm going to fill in that square, because yes. Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. So I guess like having an open palate is a thing, but like,
you have your preferences. You do know what you like, but it says preferred foods. You have preferred foods, but will you eat anything other than that? Yeah, you will. You do get curious.
You may struggle with noises, touching, or sensory input.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
I would like to say I don't struggle with this, but that would be so incredibly untrue. So, like, you know, socks are a thing. Shoes are a thing for me. Shoes make the day. They make or break the day. They may seek out squeezing hugs when overwhelmed or upset. Don't mind if I do.
No, we don't. This one actually may struggle with touching it and sensory input. I've thought about it because the attorney, Woo Young Woo, right, when she would get upset and he would like hold her, right? And I've thought about like, you know, thinking about if you came up and like held me tight like that, do I think that would help? My deep down wish was that I could say yes, it would make me feel so much better, but I don't think so. I think I might kind of freak out a little. I don't know.
Although I do love a good squeezing hug, I do not seek them out.
Yeah.
So it's not something that like comes up for me. I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I need right now in order to not freak out. And there have definitely been times where I've gotten in a place where you are, which is like, if you touch me, I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah.
So yeah. I like. Would I say that I like squeezing hugs like in general? Yes.
Yeah.
Or when I'm overwhelmed or like super upset, not usually. So I'm gonna actually not color that one in. Okay, so may chew, rub, or tap certain materials obsessively. You and plastic.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do definitely have the pica, but without swallowing. I don't eat the stuff because Although I think my parents would say that when I was a young kid, I do have these vague memories almost of being in my grandmother's house and having things in my mouth and I was swallowing them. Yeah, this is something that I do. May chew, rub, or tap certain materials obsessively. Yeah. Let's do purple. I'm in the corner.
Next up is may struggle to process visual or auditory information, and it's all yes.
Oh my
on the
gosh.
auditory.
Can I just bingo right now on just that one alone? That one has been such an issue.
Honestly, and like having this bigger house like has been kind of a struggle for me because like we'll go to talk to each other from other rooms and I just can't understand. I just can't.
It echoes.
May struggle to settle body down enough for restful sleep.
Like sometimes I do have a lot of energy, like the Energizer Bunny, but would I say
True.
that it makes me struggle to go to sleep? No, because I'm always ready to go to sleep. That's how I feel. I'm always like, yeah, I'm ready to go back to bed. Let's go to sleep. I always try to like do enough in the day to make myself tired enough. So I think I'm gonna skip that one for me.
Yeah, that's a definite yes for me. I have to be careful. I have to be careful now about when I take caffeine because anything that helps keep you awake, like I just have a tendency for insomnia. I just
okay.
So it just is what it is. But if I drink tea before bed, if I don't have caffeine for like 6 to 7 hours before bed, if I got up at a reasonable time in the beginning of the day, like all of those things kind of play a part into whether I'm going to be able to go to sleep or not the next night. The next one is may often fidget, chew, tap, or other repetitive behaviors.
Chew, fidget.
What do you think? Repetitive behaviors?
I feel like I don't. I don't feel like I fidget.
I would say your thing lately is that you've been kind of like working on actually adding fidgeting into because it helps get energy out of the body.
Yes, stimming.
Because it's not something that just like comes to you naturally. Where I would say like as soon as I start to feel any sort of overwhelm, my body's fidgeting. I am tapping a leg. I'm tapping a pen. I'm doing something with my body's extra energy constantly.
You make a good point there. I'm trying.
Come try it.
Because it does actually help to stim. It does help.
It does. It really does. All right. So next up is may get more or less upset at something than is appropriate. This is a thing.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm always constantly second guessing myself on this one. I'm like, that's why I come and I ask you, believe it or not, am I having an appropriate response? Because I'm like, am I overdoing it or am I underdoing it? Sometimes I struggle to know myself because I'm like, to me, it feels appropriate. That's why I'm doing it because it feels appropriate. But I'm always like, can you just make sure that I'm not being crazy or that did I not, react? Did I not react well enough to that? So.
Yep. All right. So next one we've got here is maybe very involved in specific hobbies or interests.
Yes. Yeah, that's a 10-4 for me on that.
Which interests would they like to know about?
So I think the main ones that I have going on, especially the ones that I've learned about recently, YouTube is one of them. Trauma-related, cognitive, behavioral things. I've always been really fascinated with that. Psychology and sociology. And then dogs, animals. I really like pets.
Anyway, yeah, definitely a yes for me on the special interests and hobbies. Whether you want to talk about psychology, God, politics, science, music. Yeah, I've got an interest in it. So
history.
Yeah, history.
Jeez.
Yeah, I want to know all of it. I want to know everything. May struggle to adjust when plans change without warning.
Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to mark this half blue. This is something that before being aware, I struggled. But now, since I'm aware, I have things in place where this doesn't cause me as much grief anymore.
That's true. That's true. I would say that both of my parents have a tendency of changing plans. No harm, no foul. It's okay. I had to experience it a lot. And I think through the process of experiencing things many, 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 many times, you start to understand that it's not the end of the world if things change. Have I noticed if I have my expectations set on a certain thing and then it doesn't happen, do I get pretty grumpy and upset? Yeah. So this one's definitely like
still have preferences, but it can cause you to not have a meltdown now. Because now that I know, it's like, oh, okay. I'm
all right. I'll be all right. Next, you may have routines that don't seem to have a real purpose.
Routines.
This one's an interesting one.
Routines that may not have a purpose.
So I think about things like I always have to put on my left shoe first.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And then you explain that to me. Or sometimes I'll ask you, like, so why do you do that? Just to know. It's been fascinating.
Yeah. So I would say this is true for me. This is not true for you. I don't see you doing anything. You are very much about efficiency. So like you get out of bed, whatever foot works first is the one that's going in the shoe. Like you don't care about which foot goes in.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, it has to be the left foot. It has to be.
Or it doesn't feel right.
No, I don't know if that's encroaching on other things, but
OCD.
Perhaps. But
hey, it's all under the umbrella, baby.
That's right, baby. We got all of it. Oh, I got 4 in a row over here.
Oh, crap.
Fucking watch out.
Wow. Okay, well, slow your roll there.
All right, next up, we got may struggle in situations that are unfamiliar. That's a big 10-4 for me. I want to say that I don't struggle. I've gotten good looking like I'm not struggling.
And on that note, yeah. This is the thing that everybody's like, I don't know what I'm doing, you guys. Okay? I still struggle. I still have anxiety, but guess what? I go into it willingly. Because I'm just like, it happens all the time for me. So yes, I struggle in situations, always. Always. It's always going to be a struggle. But because I understand that it is always going to be a struggle for me, it's not as bad. I guess, I don't know. I guess I've gotten immune to it. Hedonic treadmill has radically accepted this issue for me.
May experience pain or discomfort during eye contact.
Another fill that in all the way. This is, and I didn't know about this until I found out about diagnosis. I didn't know. And this is even something I just told you about recently too, of like, I didn't realize, but then now that I know, And I feel terrible because I still experience that like discomfort with you.
I
Of like,
know.
I'm sorry, it's not that I don't want to look at you. I do. I just literally,
It's
it is painful.
in the same way of touching a fabric, looking at another person in
It's
the
like
eyes.
sandpaper.
So I understand. And for me, like my whole life, I have been like forced into eye contact. And so I'm very, very disciplined in giving people eye contact.
Yeah.
But I have over the last 6 months really been playing with not looking when I don't want to. And I have to say that's really great. So like when I start to feel uncomfortable in any way looking, especially even looking at you, looking at anyone, I just stop looking at you. I just stop.
Does it help?
And it does. It helps so much.
That's what I learned too. So yeah, I was like, oh, okay, well, this is a superpower.
But at the same time, like, does it cause me extreme discomfort or pain? No. But I do notice that I feel better when I'm not forcing myself to do something that I don't want to do. So like that helps. So for me, it's a half. But I know for you, it's a full. You scribbled that in.
On this scale, I am max level.
I got my first.
Crap.
I got my first.
See, I got
my first bingo. This is only a 5 bingo though. I would need this one up here. I may struggle to keep track of a fast conversation. Only if I have auditory processing. Issues.
That's the only time.
If I can hear you appropriately, I'm good. Totally know what's going on. Totally with it.
I can follow.
I've been a part of debate. Like you have to be like. So under pressure, you bet it. Like I'm there. I feel like this isn't really one for me.
No, because I can't mark it as half.
That may take jokes very literally and not understand teasing.
Sometimes I do. So
I noticed that.
Fill it in. I don't realize until after the fact. And so I ask questions. And I got to tell you, there's been some times where I'm like, are you making fun of me? And like people, they're like,
oh my God, no.
Yeah. Sometimes I've had that. Oh my, no, I would never. And then it's like, then they feel terrible. And I'm like, no, I had to ask. I had to make sure that it's fine if you are. Honestly, I'm fine if you are making fun of me. I just now know that you're making fun of me and no, skin off my nose about it, But I've had those other people where it's like, oh, yes, I am. Now we're at an impasse. What do we do? Because I literally called them out for their behavior because I'm just kind of dumb, but it's like, not that I'm dumb. It's just like, sometimes my brain just doesn't get it. So then when I ask, oh, are you making fun of me? And it's like, yes.
I would say I'm sensitive to teasing personally. I've got reasons for that. But I would say as far as jokes go, when something's actually a joke,
it's fine.
Or even a sarcastic joke in the nasty way, I'm very good at calling that out and seeing that. Yeah. Like really good. And it's because I grew up in a family with a bunch of comedians, okay? Like not actually, but we think we're pretty damn funny. And like we do have a tendency for busting some pretty good, jokes and laughs. So I don't know, if I wouldn't have grown up in this family, would I struggle with that? Probably. Next one is may miss sarcasm or subtleties while others are speaking. I would say I don't miss that. I would say I hone in on all of that crap. Constantly. I feel like I hone in on things they're not intending for me to hone in on.
Yes. It's like I sometimes oversee and it's not real.
True. And sometimes it is real, but it's like
it's not the person's intention.
Word is real. Okay, well, I'm not getting that one. All right, moving to the next. Okay, next one is may prefer to communicate over text or email.
Yes.
If it is possible,
I will do it.
I will never call in somewhere. I will always use a chat bot. Even if it's a chat, I literally don't care.
Support honestly is sometimes better
It's sometimes better.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got second bingo. Boop.
Sweet, baby. Boop, boop, boop. May not understand why blunt honesty is seen as rude. I don't struggle with that. So that's going to prevent me from getting my mega bingo and winning. Is that the one that's literally going to give you the bingo?
Yeah.
To win?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Because I really don't understand why people have a fucking problem with this. I don't get why people have an issue with it. Bingo! Major bingo.
BS.
Bingo!
So Aerica officially wins. We're going to keep playing just so we can see, but very, very good job. So these are the uncommon, so just so you guys know, these are the uncommon autism / atypical traits. So they don't necessarily, if you have these things, they don't necessarily mean you're autistic, but they definitely mean that you're under the umbrella of neurodivergent, right? Okay. You just think differently than like the standard, okay? So Next one is intense compassion / empathy. And your boy over here got to mark that one down.
Yeah, you
full box.
Bringing that up and stuff recently. Yes, this is okay.
Okay, next one here is walking on toes.
Okay, so this is, I did it as a kid. Do I do it anymore now? No, I don't. So I think this is a blue half in. But oh my gosh, I used to walk on my toes all the time as a kid. Even upstairs, I would tippy toe everywhere.
So it's really funny you say that. To this day, I cannot go upstairs unless I tippy toe up the stairs. But I have to. It's the only thing that feels good and safe. If I step on my full foot, I actually feel like I'm going to fall over because I just have no balance that way.
Okay.
It's really weird. Next one here is a tendency to overshare. We had a good laugh about this one off screen. That's
why I have a YouTube channel. This is what I think people have always found super endearing about me, and I did not realize that it's a trauma / autistic trait.
Yeah, I think that time and place, right? Set and setting.
Yeah.
Under the correct set and setting.
And the person, if they're safe.
Yep. Any truth should be allowed to come out, right? Yeah. And I do agree with you on that. But you're right. It's like pick your time, pick your place, because there's an appropriate amount of sharing, and there's an inappropriate amount of sharing. I know for me, so I filled this box in fully. Okay. Do I actually overshare with people a lot? No, I don't
feel like you have good boundaries.
In the same way that I don't share, I can't tell you how much I'm. Because I literally go, I'm like, oh, I have something I can share about this. I have my snow globe I want to share with you so bad.
Yes.
I want to a lot, but I realize that like time and place, not necessarily appropriate. Yes, I would love to talk about this because it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
But do they really care? And is it really important for them to like do this job with me or whatever? And know that. Is that important? And if it meets all of those criteria, then I can share it. But if it doesn't meet all of those criteria, then I need to just hold it for myself and just appreciate the fact that I know that about me and that I like that about me and move on. So, but I do have the tendency, I want to. I just don't let myself a lot.
Yeah.
Next up is interested in social change and extremely upset by injustice. Yes. Can I fill this one in twice?
Yeah.
I've become less interested in social change specifically just because if you get a little too far into that, you start to really lose yourself and the world starts to feel like a mess. Yeah. And you're really upset all the time. And that is not a good place to live.
Powerless and hopeless. Yeah, and you just can't.
You can't. Do I pay attention? Yes. Do I let it control my life? No. Not anymore. Not at all. Cool. Next one here is lack of balance and organization skills.
I don't struggle with that at all. I feel like I've got really great balance, actually, in organization skills.
I would say because of your balance specifically on not your moderation, right?
Yeah.
I used to be kind of extremist on how I would spend my time on things. Okay. And I feel like, but this was years and years ago. I feel like after seeing that, like, oh, you can actually do all of the things. You can have fun and work really hard. You don't just get to pick one or the other. You can actually do both. Yeah. You just got to think about how you're going to do it. So I think on the balance side is that I used to struggle with the lack of balance, but I've always had really good organizational skills. I feel good about not having to fill that one in though.
Yeah,
honestly.
That is good.
That feels good. Strong sense of things either being right or wrong.
Okay. And so this one, I feel like it's the whole correct, accurate thing. So strong sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to, my conscience dictates that I have to fill this bubble in.
And that is my second bingo, actual bingo.
Bingo.
Boop, times 2.
Oh, wait. I didn't notice this. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have another regular bingo.
Nice.
Very nice. The need for constant stimulation for watching things, reading things, or solving things.
Hey, no. I'm a lower stim autistic individual. I need more quiet, less sensory, just leave me the fuck alone sort of thing. I don't know.
See, for me, I am really driven by education. A lot. I want to know. I can't even tell you. I don't even get to like even a tenth of the questions that I have in a day. I ask so many questions. I'm like, I come up with so many things. I'm like, I wonder what that means, or I wonder what that is, or I wonder what the answer is to this. I just don't have enough time. And this is why I have, like, I kid you not, this is why I have, well, look right now what the current number is. I have 78 tabs open on my Google Chrome in my phone. And that's not even including my 15 that are in DuckDuckGo.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, I have a lot of questions all the time. And a lot of the times I find information that I really like and I want to keep. And so then I just keep it on there without managing it very well. So that's one area I could probably do a little better on organization. But I'm like, it's digital. Who cares? Like, it's in my phone.
No one sees it.
It looks clean enough. But for me, it's just, I'm constantly trying to learn something. And so I'm usually watching something, I'm reading something, and I love puzzles. So if I'm even playing a game, it's probably a puzzle game.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
True.
I just love that stuff.
So you'll definitely fill that one in.
Yeah, that's all me right there.
Okay.
Oh. Boom. I got an actual bingo.
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 And I think we've got 2 left.
Okay, yep, we do. All right, 2 left. Okay, willingness to help others.
Yep.
I'm like, is this not a normal trait? Like, do people really not have that trait of like wanting to help their fellow man? Because like, if that means you're neurodivergent, like, how far have we fallen as a human race? I'm just saying. Okay, last one here. Here we go. The feeling of wanting to fit in and wanting to be different. So both of those things simultaneously.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's true. It's my big dilemma of my entire life. And with that, I have a 3rd bingo.
Oh, man. Good job. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is that really a good thing? I win.
Isn't it?
In Autism Bingo. It's just good to know these things about yourself is what I would say. Thank you for putting this together.
Just kind of get to know yourself a little better, Like, that's all it is. Just getting to know yourself a little better every day. And whether you're neurodivergent, whether you are neurotypical, whether you are autistic or not, ADHD, OCD, whatever.
We're to celebrate our differences.
We are to celebrate our differences. We all have our place. We all have our strengths and the things that we can do to help this world out and to do good things and everything else. So
I appreciate you putting it all together and making this. It was fun just doing this activity with you, if anything.
I'm glad.
To hear for you too, because it's like interesting to hear your experience. This is what makes me me.
Yeah, it's a good part of it. That's for sure.
It's interesting.
It is.
It's so interesting. Remember, I love every single one of you. I hope that you have a great day. Remember to spread kindness to yourself and to others. And I'll see you guys in my next video.